if we're trying to maximize our velocity, if we're trying to make it seem that we're not trying to throw hard, but the ball's coming in hard, then not only do we need to produce energy, but store up energy and to release energy on time and in line, meaning in line towards the desired task, towards that location, right? So our desired task location is the catcher. So when we see guys that break down, they're not maximizing that that energy production or that energy distribution, that we see a pull, right? The trunk either leaves early or it starts rotating late, to where the aggressive rotation then pulls the head and trunk outward. So that means that the athlete's just spinning off at release and not gaining ground and maximizing late launch and getting trunk rotation and flexion on time and taking that energy forward. Now, there's a lot of different components to it. Like I said, it's not just one particular breakdown. I mean, it is looking at the actual breakdown of, are we maximizing our energy distribution? So, a couple different progressions that I like to use with guys. Again, everyone's going to be different in terms of what they find valuable as far as feedback goes. So it's always nice to have multiple drill libraries, if you would, that kind of highlight the area of breakdown. So if we have a guy, let's just say from a broad spectrum, the athlete is someone that over aggressively rotates his trunk and then at ball release is pulling off to the left. Now again, there's just note that there's a difference between contralateral trunk tilt, getting your arm to come through and create an angle, and actually pulling off from a rotational standpoint that's not maximizing linear energy. So if it's that type of individual, something that a couple of different progressions that I've seen work really well is starting them off with a counterbalance. When we talk about the breakdown being front side instability, right? Don't have the actual stability to hold front side direction and even just hold that trunk in that neutral position. We give them a counterbalance. This is a 3 pound, but I would say 2 pounds is the best. And then we can do a ton of different throw variations just with a counterbalance in our glove or just with a counterbalance in our hand. So now what the counterbalance is going to do is it's going to now put a ton of emphasis, because it's an overloaded object, on that front side. So where is that front side in space? If you dip too far out, you're going to notice that counterbalance is going to take you this way, and then you're going to have to overcorrect. So I like it in terms of directional stuff because it highlights that area. If someone's over aggressively shooting glove side outward, that's causing some breakdowns down the mound, then you'll see the correction, not necessarily a correction of like the mental component, thinking about the physical adjustment you need to make, but just the body organizing, saying, okay, if I'm going to separate my hands, now I got to get more directional. I got to get sturdy. I got to get stable. You'll see a lot of guys that maintain flexion of that glove arm and then take that directional. Not saying that you need flexion in that glove arm, but you'll just see that's the body's organization. So all the time I see it. The counterbalance cleans a lot of different things up. I would encourage you guys to play around with some counterbalance progressions. Again, you can do a ton of different throw variations with that. You know, kneeling throws, freaking shuffle throws, whatever. You can also use, I've seen some guys only have a dumbbell, so 3 pound dumbbell, very similar to the sensation. Obviously you can't put the dumbbell on your glove, so if you're doing really light drill progressions, throw a 3 pound dumbbell on, maybe even heavier if you want, and just see the mechanism of keeping that glove side, front side sturdy, stable, and notice how it cleans up the mechanism of boom, front side extension, trunk neutral, and then hand connectivity. You won't see an over aggressive pull that takes energy that way, not that way. So same thing. Next one, you can also do this next progression with a counterbalance, so don't think that you can't. Very simple towel drill. I actually like overemphasizing feelings. So with what I would do, again, don't do too many reps of this because you don't want to instill bad motor patterns, but you want to highlight the specific area of deficiency. Okay, that's the first freaking goal. So highlight it by taking your desired target or task completion that way, in terms of whatever side you're struggling with. This point, if it's directional, it's usually a pull. So overemphasize it to the non-pull side. And now we're taking our direction towards that box. Boom. So you'll see that now everything starts to clean up in terms of where we start to rotate and how we finish this throw. Okay, it's not, okay, taking our energy towards that. Now, like I said, it's a drastically different feeling. You're obviously not going to release a baseball right here, but you're overemphasizing that to create better awareness, better body awareness for yourself moving forward. Okay. Next thing, very simple med ball, like any type of med ball toss. I actually like loading up the med ball this way in this pocket, and now we're launching, and it's the same terms as in terms of like completing the med ball task than completing a throwing task, by saying build up rotational energy, launch rotational energy towards our desired location. Same thing when we throw a baseball, right? Build up energy, transfer, launch towards our location. So a med ball could be a great progression for you. Keep it simple, stick in the pocket. If our desired location is right next to that camera, hopefully it doesn't hit it. Then notice how as soon as I begin my trunk rotation, it's all being distributed. Is that the right word? Distributed? Who knows? Towards that location, right? So you can do a bunch of different, get creative, rocker, throw, wind up, who cares? As long as we're getting our hip rotation to go, trunk stays neutral, launching towards that way. Okay, so that was perfect. You're instilling the patterns of loading and launching towards your desired target and not pulling. See a lot of guys that will struggle with direction breakdowns, that they're just trying to release so much rotational energy that they pull it, and they actually do more harm than good in that point. So it could be a byproduct of just trying to overthrow, because you're spinning at launch faster than you stored up energy, if that makes sense. But those are really simple. Counterbalance probably going to be your best bet. You can do towel work with a counterbalance, but towel work's going to be an easy one because you can just do that anywhere to create the environment of sensations and feedback. And then simple med ball progressions. I would encourage people that are doing throw variations or med ball stuff, like have a specific area in which you're targeting towards your task completion, so that could really emphasize, you know, game-like stuff. So hopefully that makes sense, and keep working hard. See ya.